Hi everyone, this is Iris Epstein. I am a registered dietitian, certified eating disorder specialist, and a certified Arise interventionist. And today we are going to be discussing how someone recovers when they don't have a full support system. I have so many clients come to me and say to me, is it possible to recover when I don't have anyone home to help me? I don't have anyone to shop for me. I don't have anyone to sit with me at a meal. I'm by myself, and um, it almost feels like impossible to get this job accomplished. Where so many of my friends who I know who have an eating disorder, they have so much support, and I don't. My words to this group of people is yes, you can 100% recover by yourself. Does it take some extra effort? Absolutely. But there are a lot of positives to working by yourself. One of the biggest positives is you get all of the reward. There's nobody down your back. There's nobody monitoring you. There's nobody calling you out for anything you've done wrong. So this is just a private affair that's between you, and you. Maybe you and some professionals, but other than that, you're owning this. And that's a great accomplishment if you can succeed at it. The three things that you have to succeed at, though, is being accountable to yourself, nourishing yourself, and being honest when no one is watching. This video is about 30 minutes long or so, so you could jump around it, but really I broke it into some sections from strategies. So see if you can make it through the whole thing, and I think you're going to pick up some really great tips. Okay, so the very first thing we need to do is we need to take a reality check when we're working by ourselves. How hard is it going to be honest with ourselves? That's hands down number one. If you don't think that you can be honest with yourself at all, you may have a very hard time doing it alone. However, if you can find a small window that you could be honest with yourself, but you can call yourself out on your dishonesty and be accountable to your dishonesty, now you're back in to a situation where you can recover on your own. You have to be able to call yourself out if you skip a meal. You have to be able to start differentiating between the eating disorder voice and the healthy voice. You have to be able to turn self-criticism into encouragement, and you have to be able to fix a problem quickly before it becomes a pattern. So if you can check most of these boxes, or if the box is half checked, let's go on to our first strategy. So strategy one is owning structure. When you are recovering alone, you need to find containment. It's not controlling. Some people find containment and they interchange it with the word control. It's not. Don't be upset. I know some people really, really hate the word control. Whatever their history is with that word, they don't like it. But make sure you say structure is more about containment and predictability. And those two concepts, they actually help recovery along. So, what do I mean by containment? We make a menu. Now, that could be a menu done with a professional, or you can make your own weekly menu. You have to buy the products, you have to buy the groceries, you have to prepare them. This is a big ask for people at the beginning to do on their own just because it causes so much anxiety. But it can be done. You can buy the food, you could order groceries online, you could look at menus, and you can do everything today is so online. You could Uber Eats it. You can do so many things if you're not ready yet to go into a grocery store. If you're not ready to prepare it, there's a lot of prepared foods that you can buy, or you could actually ask different places that you would trust to prepare something that you could pick up and take out. If you're not ready yet to eat outside the home, then by all means, you will have to prepare your own food. If you work with a dietitian, they could help you keep the menu heading towards recovery with whatever energy your body needs for recovery, but also keep it with simple recipes and simple groceries that will that will create the least anxiety. We also ask that you write down specific meal times to eat. Why is this important? This goes back to predictability. Predictability is key to recovery. It calms anxiety. We can't go by your mood that day. We can't go by your hunger. We can't go by your fullness. We have to go by a clock. This is eating disorder recovery 101. Must be by a clock. What does that also mean? It also means that we don't get our hair done at 1 o'clock if it's lunchtime. We don't get our nails done if it's 1 o'clock at lunchtime. And we don't meet a friend and we don't make a phone call. Of course, there are things that do come up, but we do 90% our best to make sure recovery comes first. We have the menu, we know how we're preparing it, we know how we're getting the food, and we're eating on time. One of the reasons why we do this also is because we know that anxiety spikes around mealtime, right? So if we already know what we're going to be eating, we already know how it's going to get delivered or who's preparing it for us or how it's getting prepared, then we can keep anxiety lower. We have to treat nourishing our body like it's medicine. I know, I'm sure you've heard this cliche before, food is medicine in eating disorder recovery, but it's not a joke. It's not a reward at this time. It is a must do. If you leave this program today with two things that you need to recover when you're by yourself, it's number 1 and 2 on this strategy list. Strategy number 2. If you don't own that eating disorder voice and you're going to mingle it with your regular voice, you will probably struggle to recover. At the beginning, this is really, really hard to do, but totally doable. I am doing this for 25 years, and I love when I hear people hit a place where the two voices could become separate and they could actually identify the eating disorder voice from the adult or the healthy voice. We wrote here the adult voice, but I like it to be like the healthy voice. So we have to be able to name the eating disorder voice. Why? Because we have to be in front of the language and the tone it uses so that we can answer it and challenge it all the time. If it's very hard for you at the beginning to do this, I suggest you write it down. I just did a list with one of my clients where we wrote down all of her eating disorder voice comments, and then we challenged them with the healthy voice. And what that does is we made a copy of it. So she has like 2 of these, and we fold one, keep it in her pocketbook, and we have one in her home. She can make as many as she wants of them, but she knows and she looks at that list throughout the day, not just when she needs it. The job is that she reviews it on a regular basis so that she could automatically retrain her brain that when the eating disorder is talking, she recognizes it, and the brain rewiring will get conditioned to respond to it automatically. First, it's going to be mechanical, then it will move into automatic. One of the ways that we do this is We identify it when someone struggles at the beginning. Remember that the eating disorder voice always wants comfort. The other voice wants to put you in discomfort. So if you know that one of the voices talking to you calms your anxiety, makes you feel safe, challenge and like look at it and say, this might be my eating disorder voice talking, especially around food. I'm not talking in other areas, but especially around food. So strategy number 2 is learning how to identify the healthy voice from the eating disorder voice. Strategy number 3. This is called radical self-monitoring. Self-honesty beats self-punishment every time, right? Lying is not a character flaw of having an eating disorder. It's actually a symptom of an eating disorder. We can't punish ourselves when the eating disorder lies. Okay, we shouldn't even have some shame, because the truth is, this is what eating disorders do. They manipulate, they tell half truths, they lie. Sometimes it doesn't even fit the character who we really are. But when we look at it from an addictions lens, addictions lie. That's just what they do. So what we like to do is we like to keep track of this, right? We need to, once again, have these check-ins, right? To make sure that we're seeing, like, is there any place where we weren't super honest today? We need to track those behaviors. What do I mean by that? Sometimes we didn't plate the right amount of food. The eating disorder was able to tell us to, like, just cut down on the portions a little bit. The eating disorder may have said to us, it's okay today to skip a snack because you ate an extra fruit or you took a bite of an apple. The eating disorder may know that you have somewhere to go tomorrow and you have to wear real clothes, so it tells you that it's okay to not have your evening snack. The eating disorder may say to you, when you and your professional, the dietitian or your therapist, decide that you're going to take an extra snack today because you're walking a lot, the eating disorder may convince you you didn't walk as much as you discussed with your medical professional so that you could sort of not eat the extra snack. This is what eating disorders do. So we need to sit down and, without shame, without judgment, go through our day and see if we can go into our wisest part of our brain. Remember, we're doing this alone, and track any behaviors that we may not have been honest about. The quicker we catch these behaviors, the less of a pattern and the less power they have over us. Be curious about where you could have made some of these sort of dishonest mistakes, or and don't make it like criticism. Sort of like give yourself that non-judgment stance to say, hey, I'm learning how to do this on my own. I'm doing amazing at this, and I'm allowed to be curious, and I'm allowed not to be perfect at it. So let me just call myself out. Now, it may be scary to call yourself out because now you're asking yourself to make a change. We could live in denial. We could just keep kicking the can down the road. But when you're super honest with yourself, your recovery process will move quicker. Strategy number 4. Replace criticism with recovery language. One of the things that we discuss in my office is who you would rather take care of. Would you rather take care of somebody you love or somebody that you really dislike? Usually, I get the answer, somebody that I really like or love. So why would we do this to ourselves? Why would we beat ourselves up enough to not like ourselves, to say the meanest things to ourselves so that we feel shame, we feel guilt. We're in a place where it's like, ew, like, who am I? Like, I'm an awful person. I'm weak. I failed again. I should already be over this. Like, I'm such a loser. If you keep doing these things to yourself, you are going to stop recovery because nobody wants to help someone they hate, including yourself. So instead, why don't we use things that help us cheerlead for ourselves? Like, hey, I'm doing something really hard and I'm doing it anyway. Or eating when I don't want to and putting myself in this place where I'm anxious, even if it takes me 30 minutes, an hour to eat, I have to do this for my recovery. We're not here to comfort ourselves. But if I follow through with this, I will make progress. I need that discipline. This is a place where you can actually say or give a few reasons why you like yourself. Like, I like myself because I'm a good friend to my friends. I am a very good daughter. I am a good mom. I like to play the piano and I haven't had any energy to do it. I actually like to go on hikes and I can't in this situation. So before this disorder, I actually had enjoyment and liked myself during the enjoyment. So I am going to do these hard things because I am special enough to recover. Now, I'll be super honest, not everyone is in that space right now to like themselves. So you may want to replace some of this wording with, I respect myself in this area. I respect myself as a worker. I respect myself as a wife. I respect myself as a friend. And therefore, in order to keep respecting myself, I am allowed to use more compassionate, cheerleading language. The last strategy, number 5, is to plan for mistakes. We are not perfect people. You're not perfect. I'm not perfect. And we can't ask for a perfect recovery. So we have to plan for what we're going to do if something goes awry. So let's say you skip a meal. You may have to say to yourself, then this happens. So if I skip a meal, then I can't compensate at all for the next meal or the next meal or the next meal. I am not allowed to say I'll start tomorrow. I start right away. So you can see how that works as a recovery strategy, that you will have your if then worksheet. Okay? The goal for an if then worksheet is to return to your structure and predictability as quick as possible. I know this sounds so easy. I know it's not easy. It's so easy to sit here in the comfort of my chair and share with everybody these strategies, especially doing it yourself. But remind yourself that eating disorders do take a long time to move through the journey. And it will never be linear. It will always have its ups and downs. The goal is to watch for more ups, to have less downs, and to have the ups last longer and the downs last shorter. Okay? That's really what recovery is about. The time frame for recovery is different for everybody, but I can tell you I've watched people recover privately. I've watched them not recover with tons of support. I've watched them recover with support. I've watched them not recover with no support. Everybody is different, but I have so many people who did recover without support. So I'm here to share with you those 5 strategies that really, really helped the people that I work with. So recovery alone doesn't mean that you're fully unsupported, because if we reframe the narrative, what it looks like is you become your structure, you become your accountability, and you become your own cheerleader. Again, the positives are amazing. Yes, there are some negatives. It would be nice if somebody made the meal. It would be nice if someone sat with you at the meal. It would be nice if someone helped distract you or gave you kind words of encouragement. But someone who does it on their own, you can walk around with your head held high that you came to love yourself and did this by yourself. And that's special, like no one, I don't even know what to say about that. Like, that is, when I see someone do it on their own, I am over the moon. It's like, you are my rock star. It was such a pleasure doing this for you today. I hope that in this 20-minute program, you were able to take out some valuable information from it. And even if a lot of it you knew already, I hope it re-inspired you to work with some of these strategies again. I will be doing more educational programs because I do feel that you don't always need to sit in somebody's office to recover. And with the technology today online, you can sit through these workshops if you take them seriously and if you implement them and practice them. This is all the recovery that you need. It's like a great live self-help book. Okay, Iris Epstein, I'm out. Till next time. Bye.